Led by James Harden and Chris Paul, the Rockets had a prime opportunity to advance to a Game 7 against a Warriors team without Kevin Durant, who strained his calf in Game 5, and Stephen Curry, who had 0 points in the first half. But for the fourth time in 5 playoffs, the Rockets had their season ended by the Warriors. With just under 10 minutes to go, the Rockets led by 4, until Golden State's original trio of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green began to pick and roll the Rockets to their death. Straight out of a timeout with just under 10 minutes remaining, Steve Kerr called a play for the Warriors to run a pick and roll that led to a wide open layup for Curry. At the top of the play, Draymond Green slips a screen for Curry, which causes a moment of confusion for PJ Tucker and Paul, giving Curry the space to drive by Paul and Harden for a layup. Curry is open because on the weak side, the Warriors have Jonas Jerebko screen for Klay Thompson, knowing the Rockets will switch the action. Clint Capella and Eric Gordon are occupied, and nobody is in the paint to help on Curry's drive. 1 minute later, the Rockets now have Capella on Green, and they switch the screen. Capella blew this coverage by giving Curry space to shoot instead of pressuring him. Later, the Rockets go small with Tucker at the 5. Green slips, Tucker bluffs a trap, and Curry crosses over to blow by again, this time for a floater with Harden inside. Now the Rockets go back to trapping with Tucker and Austin Rivers, and Curry passes to his release valve, Green, who's rolling to the rim. This is what Houston wants. The ball isn't in Curry's hands. Thompson's covered by Gordon, and it's a difficult pass to Looney. Here, Looney can't finish the lob. Iguodala might be open, but he's a career 33% three-point shooter, and though Green is an all-time great playmaker on the short roll, he only shoots 30% on floaters over the past 5 seasons. Anything beats a Curry or Thompson 3. It only get worse for the Rockets. With the game tied at 97 following a timeout, the Rockets continue to mix up coverages again as the Warriors unleash a series of counterattacks. With the ball back in Curry's hands, the Rockets trap again, and Green rolls again. But now with Thompson parked in the corner instead of standing at the wing, Gordon can't rotate over, which puts Harden in a rough spot. Harden rotates too slowly to contain Green's roll and the passing lane to Looney. Capella also could have done a much better job of staying home on Looney and baiting Green into taking the floater. Now up 2, the Warriors run the same play. Tucker bluffs a trap and recovers to Green, who doesn't drive like the Rockets are expecting. Instead, the Warriors counter by having Curry sprinted to a handoff from Green as he drains the 3. Sometimes trapping won't work, but the next possession showed its great potential. The Rockets trap again this time. Paul does a great job of walling off Looney from migrating into the dunker spot. Capella zones in the paint and uses the rule of verticality to contest Green's layup for a huge stop. It was Houston's best possession of the quarter, since none of Green's options are good with a floater, a tough lob to Looney, or an Iguodala 3. Following their best defensive possession against the pick and roll, the Rockets went back to switching. Tucker isn't laterally quick enough to stay in front of Curry, so Houston's help defenders need to be ready to, well, help. But Capella is asleep at the wheel, and both Gordon and Harden don't rotate over enough. The Rockets switch again next time up the floor, and Gordon is helping off Draymond, and Tucker mirrors every movement by Steph. Too bad for Houston that Steph is Steph. The problem is they allowed Steph to be Steph. If Houston traps, Curry doesn't attempt the shot. The trap forces a different player to beat you. They need to help off someone, especially Draymond, a career 32% three-point shooter, or Iguodala. Even though Iguodala had 5 threes in the game, you gotta play the numbers. Houston's offense is driven by the analytics, so why wasn't the defense? It just can't be Thompson. Of course, on the final pick and roll, that's exactly who it was. Let's replay this entire possession. Houston goes back to trapping with Tucker rather than switching. As Draymond rolls, Capella does a nice job of contesting while Harden helps on Looney. It leaves Iguodala open, and this is where CP3 and Tucker make critical mistakes. Paul stunts at Iguodala, leaving Thompson open. Tucker slowly jogged to the middle of the floor and didn't react quickly enough to the kick out by sprinting to close out on Thompson. He's a beat late, and it's all Klay needs. After the game, Chris Paul went out of his way to admit his mistake.
Gotta play smarter. I made that last 3 Klay hit, I made a false step towards Iguodala, and that's all he need.
Houston lost Game 6 for a lot of reasons. Careless turnovers by Harden, missed layups by Capella, and the countless mistakes made on defense. The Warriors also happen to be one of the greatest teams ever assembled, as they're headed to a 5th straight Western Conference Finals with a chance to three-peat in the NBA Finals for only the 6th time in league history, joining the 50s Lakers, 60s Celtics, the 90s Bulls twice, And the last team to do it, the 0-2 Lakers. And it's back to the drawing board again for the Rockets. But at some point, every team runs out of chances.